And I just want to say that what I'm going to talk about may be content and trigger warning involving domestic and sexual violence. So I urge people to limit exposure for self-care. I tried to report my offender to the Lewiston Police Department because of concerns of threats of mass shootings, threats of serial killing, violence towards women and girls, or my homicide. I was targeted by this person. I asked them in the beginning if they were a cop or supremacist, terrorized daily, threatened to be killed repeatedly. I left them when they acknowledged they had me in proximity to actual and actively engaging in recruiting supremacists, even some local to Lewiston. Since my engagement with Lewiston Police and every interaction I've had to relive my terrorizing experience due to an abusive tactic they use called countering. Countering is a tactic used by abusers to confuse, manipulate, and disorient their victims by disrupting and chronically opposing their experiences. Instead of focusing on the facts of why I was harmed the way I was, or by who or what happened, I was laughed at, mocked, taunted, terrorized, and forced to relive my traumatic experiences. I could not speak about nor report what happened to me without countering being used. I repeatedly asked them why they were treating me the way they were and not being trauma-informed. I fear for survivors and community, especially those who choose to seek justice through the system. Professionals cannot separate bias and prejudice onto a survivor's experience as not the person for the job, and shows that they are inept with working with a population who is experiencing or could be trauma cycle, hypervigilance, survival crisis, and the repercussions of what severe trauma brings to the mind and body. Whether people in the institution believe survivors identify more with the offender, align in politics, countering is a continuation of violence a survivor has experienced. If professionals are feeling some kind of way, of something that I'm saying about my experience and taking personal offense, they're not hearing critical pieces of information and carrying out that continuation of abuse. It should not be carried out by acting agents of oppression within the Lewiston Police Department. I'm asking people for an accountability process for those who use countering tactics, because abuse has no place in trauma-informed work with survivors of violence. I'm here today to beg the city of Lewiston to ban abusive tactics like countering from being used in investigations when speaking with survivors of violence, and for the love of God, get trauma-informed people in place at the LPD now, not ones who say they're with certification, but with extensive trauma-informed training through a race and class lens. Thank you.
Administrator Hunter, would you please follow up on this?
Will do.
Thank you.
I forgot where I put my bag.
Further public comment?